How's it going, everybody? I intended on doing a live yesterday, but I missed it. I was pretty tired yesterday because I hadn't really been sleeping all that great lately, so I basically just been loafing around the house most of the night. Um, I ended up helping a friend of a friend out, as you can see in the community tab today, and I'll leave that up for a little while. That has a lot to do with what I've been talking about as far as, you know, raising my glass to certain people or tipping my hat to certain people, showing some respect for the work that they're doing on in exposing certain privately owned, government operated channels, namely one in particular. But all of that aside, yeah, I'll leave that up for a little while. That's a pretty big deal, and that one really bothers me as a veteran of OIF. So I'm going to leave that up for a little while. I'm going to really go into what I had planned on discussing yesterday as far as it all relates to the psyop that occurred yesterday. And that is a psyop, you know, in multiple different ways. That is a psyop. One way in particular that it's a psyop, and you know it is, and that you also know that it's infiltrated the alternative media circles, is because you can see literally the way that MSM tries to portray it, and you see some of these channels, even on YouTube, trying to portray it in the exact same light. And what I mean by that is that if you were to watch like a clip of faux news, you know, Fox News, faux news, if you were to watch a clip of them talking about that issue, and then you go and watch some of these other people talking about the same issue, the same overall context by which it's reported in is essentially this. Oh, they did this to a former president. Oh, I guess everybody's in danger now. Yeah, no, not quite, not quite. I've been telling folks for a long time now, they lack the personnel and they lack the resources to go after everybody everywhere. They can't do that. They cannot do that. They can't do that. So what they do is they try to make a couple examples, or they try to do something that's like, you know, high profile, like that, and then they try to make it seem like they can do that to everyone at any time, any place. You know, you know the bullshit. You know the game. You already know the game. And it is a game. I mean, it's a psychological operation. It's a psychological operation. They want people to think that they can do that when in fact they can't do anything like that. You know what they look, they don't have the personnel. They do not have the personnel. They don't have the logistics. Do you understand how vast, how gargantuan this country really truly is? Not just in land, but also in population and the amount of roads, how many miles of roads there are. There's over 4 million miles of roads in this country. And just you take all of those different factors, and then you take how small they are as far as their overall personnel numbers, and they keep shrinking it because they keep gutting their own personnel, to get rid of their best people too. They're getting rid of their best personnel too. They continually gut and deplete. That's the other thing. They're depleting it too. They're giving away a lot of their resources to the black hole in Europe known as Ukraine. And that's just one place of several places where they're doing similar. But they give away vital resources, money, weapons, including ammo, lots of ammo, things that they can't replace very easily. They're just giving it away. I mean, they're depleting us. They're depleting us. They're setting us up for an epic failure. So, more or less, with the strategic reserve becoming dangerously low, being that it's, more and more tapped out by the day, by the month, we're running perilously low, dangerously low on fuel. And that's also the same case as it relates to the food and everything else too. Logistically, we are in a horrible predicament. And I predicted that, this month would be a pivotal month as far as the factor of logistics was concerned. And it is. It's already shaping up to be quite bad right now. Quite bad in that arena. So, when you're running low on logistical capabilities, especially when it comes to fuel, you can't really go anywhere or do anything without fuel. You can't even farm. You can't farm without fuel. How are you going to harvest crops without either fuel or a lot of farm workers that would do it by hand? And we live in an era where to feed all the people we have, you very much have to depend on farm equipment to harvest all the fields and the trees, the orchards, and everything else. Meat slaughtering and packing plants. You need all of that to feed the population that we have. And when you don't have those things, when they've sabotaged, by and large, they've sabotaged, they've razed to the ground, they've burnt to the ground a lot of these plants, these packing plants for meats, these granaries, these places where they store the grains, just everything. They've destroyed so much of it so quickly too, that mathematically it's unsustainable for us to continue on the path that we've been on, as far as everybody, being able to constantly meet their daily requirements insofar as food intake is concerned. You take almost 340 million people in this land within the borders, whether they're considered citizens in quotations or they're not. You still have pretty close to 340 million people that depend on that system. But they've destroyed so much of that system. How are you going to accommodate all of those mouths without the system in place that without a viable replacement for it, or without a lot of food stored away, which at the moment Neither really exists. So it's unsustainable. And you come to a point to where it's all going to catch up. Mathematically, it is all going to catch up. You can't put it off forever. And that ties into my documentary series on the Second American Internal Conflict. And that was one of the chief causes of it, was the lack of food and fuel. The lack of food and fuel. Plus all the overreach. Everybody knows what I'm saying when I say overreach. All the false flagaroonies and cheese. False flagaroonies and cheese. Your false flags. All of those things, they all combined to create an atmosphere of complete, total pandemonium and chaos that allowed for the civil unrest to sort of serve as a screen by which these factions could emerge from out from behind to reveal themselves and start to fight each other over the limited resources. There's people that still to this day, despite all the things that have happened, to this day believe that the left-right paradigm is real, that there's a such thing as Democrats and Republicans, when they're both in fact the same thing. I mean, they're puppets. They're all puppets. They all serve the Western satanic banking cartels. And I'm just talking about the American political parasite class, the political parasitic class. So they're basically, there's people that believe that that's still real, and they'll continue to until there's a collapse. When the collapse occurs, all the petty things that we've ever known will fall to the wayside, and people will forget about all the little petty differences that they've had, because it'll become about survival. It'll become about people trying to fill a power vacuum in different areas, like you had in Syria, like you had in the Syrian civil conflict. It is very naive. It is extremely naive to think that there's not bad actors and evil factions and leadership cores of these factions, and they're not lurking in the shadows and silently observing and plotting and scheming and waiting for their moment to emerge, to take control. And just bad actors in general. It is extremely naively, it is extremely naive to believe that that's, not the case when it is the case. I mean, it's obvious that in a nation this vast, this populated, that you would have factors like that in play. It's obvious. It's extremely obvious, and it's very naive to think that that wouldn't be the case when it in fact apparently would be. There's no doubt about it. That's too many people for there not to be something like that, when even in tiny little Syria, by comparison, that was the case. And in so many other countries in their modern internal conflicts. So many countries. We're not exempt. We're not unique. We're not different or special, because, if anything, being that this land is so big and there's so many different types of people here, that would make it even more possible Not just possible, but, that stipulates even that it is the reality. And when you have a collapse, collapses do what? They bring about paradigm shifts. Old paradigms are cast to the wayside. They're forgotten about. They're forgotten about. Because when it becomes about survival, that's when you're going to see your different groups emerge to challenge one another for power and control of not just territory, but also limited remaining resources. Limited remaining resources. Sure, sure. They'll have their own ideologies too. They'll have their own unique ideologies and they'll rally around their leaders and their ideologies. But at the end of the day, it's all going to be about resources and the management thereof. And the ideology is just going to be a side effect as far as that's all concerned. Meaning that, yeah, they're going to have ideological differences in each of these groups, these factions, but the main issue driving all of it is going to be the control of limited resources. You see, the way the paradigm should exist, but it doesn't, but the way it should exist is that the people should recognize that it's literally them versus the system, that it's the power base versus the people. It's always really, at the end of the day, it's always really that. But you have elites, whether they're Western satanic banking elites or whether they're Eastern elites of the CCP or the Russian political oligarchy class or whatever, what have you, whatever elites you have, or the puppets that they run right beneath them, they're very good at manipulation games. They're very good at getting people to stay distracted, deceived, and divided against one another. Because it's going to be that way. And it's some people think that of course, and I get it. I get it. And it would be ideal if there was something that would, rally people together, because really at the end of the day, it is, all the people should be together. All the people should be. But that's an ideal. That's not going to be the reality. And the reason it's not going to be the reality is because when you have limited resources, somebody always gets the shaft. Somebody always gets the shaft. Who's this in here? Who are you, Bandito MC? You in here talking shit for? I don't even know you. Yeah, what's your problem, Bandito? What did I do to you? You got a problem with me or something? What are you you trolling? What are you in here for? You're doing a lot of laughing, but what's your issue? What's your problem? Did I do something to you that you got a problem with me? Yeah, okay. All right. Some stupid ass troll. Anyways, uh yeah, I don't know who that is. Whoever the fuck they are, they're pretty stupid, but anyway, I was getting to what I was talking about as far as the that issue goes with the resources. When people actually super tired of this hogwash. Who's this? Yeah, I guess they're a troll, Benjamin. I don't know who that is. But anyway, yeah, ideally, we should be together as a people, but you're going to have, issues as far as, the resources, limited resources. People are going to fight over limited resources. That's basically okay. Yeah, that's cool, man. Super tired of this hogwash. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome, man. You're welcome to be here. Yeah, I don't know who that person is. I don't know what their problem is, but evidently they think something's funny. I'm not sure what that is. But yeah, anyway, we should ideally all be on the same, page, but when you have limited resources, you're going to have problems. You're going to have people fighting over limited resources. You're going to have people at each other's throats fighting over limited resources. It's just the way it is. It's the way it always has been. And these evil elites basically have cultivated that in one form or fashion or another. Whether it's the Western satanic banking elites or whether it's the Eastern elites in the other side of the world, doing it to their own people. It's the same tactics. You know, time in, time out. It's the same thing. It never fails. So yes, while ideally the people should all be banding together, they basically they're going to still squabble and fight over resources because that's just what people do. That's just human nature. That always happens. It never fails. It's been at the root cause of most, if not all, modern internal conflicts. It has. It has. It's just the way it is. You know. So while yeah, they won't be laughing here pretty soon, angry Scandinavian. You're right. Yeah, I don't know what that person's issue was. I don't know like what I don't know who they thought they were, or what they think they're doing in here, but sure ain't the place for that, you know. So, yeah, I meant to come on and I meant to do this yesterday, just never got around to it. Like I said, I've been tired lately, pretty tired this morning. Been up most of the night. So, yeah, yeah, Benjamin. Yeah. Yeah, it's just how it is, man. There's so many psyops going on and so many other things, and people are buying into so much of it too. It's really a shame, dude. It's really a shame, man. It's really a shame. So the fact that people are going to follow the false left-right paradigm all the way to the collapse, that's another thing that's going to add to how bad things are going to get. It's a false paradigm. It's a false left right paradigm. You know, so it's going to keep a lot of people continually divided because people are going to falsely believe that they have, the ability to vote or whatever they think they're going to achieve with staying loyal to these political parasites. They think that's going to make a difference when, they've never had any sort of say in anything. They're just not willing to admit it, because for them to admit to something like that would be a shock to their very core, a shock to their the whole core of their being, because that would force them to concede to the fact that everything they ever knew was a lie. Everything they knew was a lie. They were lied to from the moment, they began to receive an education. They were lied to, and that would force them to have to look at their entire lives and see that it was all a lie. Everything was a lie. I mean, in some form or fashion, we've all had to do that. We've all had to come out of the lies, and we've all had to concede to the fact that, the entire thing, everything we've ever known, was a lie, and it is. But once you figure that out, then you can start to, change everything about, what you do, the choices you make. If you want to go and research or pursue more things, you're able to do that. You're able to do that. It just doesn't. You don't just stop learning once you understand that everything you ever knew was a lie. You're able then to pursue more knowledge, and that's what everybody should do. Everybody should do their own research. Everybody should become a researcher. Everybody should become, an analytical type of person where you can piece together information and everything else. Oh man, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tired, man. Been up all night. I just wanted to come on here real quick before I went to bed. So, yeah, Shadow Mask. A lot of them do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's a lot of weirdos coming out of the woodwork, Angry Scandinavian. I don't even know who that person is, or I don't care. They don't mean anything to me. I mean, I don't know what their problem was or whatever, but who knows? Maybe they took the vax, or well, you know what I'm saying. Maybe they took the mark of the beast. I want to say that word, but I know the moment I do that they're going to take down the video. Who's this? Oh, hey, Gone Girl. You the one that came in here laughing? I recognize you. I don't know what I did to you that made you so hot under the collar. All I did was tell you to, defend yourself and not worry about something. You took offense to that. It wasn't you? Well, you're welcome here. I was trying to be cool with you. I don't know why you acted like you did over there. I was over there supporting my friend, his channel, and I was trying to be supportive to you too. I was trying to tell you to, just stomp somebody if they come and fuck with you. I don't know why you let loose on me like that. Pissed off your bro. I didn't even do anything. All I said was that don't worry about it, just defend yourself. Just the way you said it, I thought you were worried about something. Well, okay. Well, I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is. I ain't did shit. I ain't did shit to nobody. Well, anyways, see who's all in here. Robert, what's going on, man? Shadow Mask, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I guess, shit, I guess I don't know. I mean, I would only feel sorry for the ones that were like woefully ignorant about things that didn't want to go and do their own research. I mean, but as far as, the rest of the public, I mean, people that, should know better, that don't want to go and learn about anything. I mean, that's just it is what it is, I guess. Hey Heather, good to see you. Michael, Blue Eyes, and Brogan. Yeah, I don't know why people get so. Yeah, I don't know, Benjamin. People get offended at everything anymore. It's like you try to be friendly or cool with people, and people take shit the wrong way, and I don't even understand it, man. I don't know what the fuck people's problems are. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to. I really don't mean to curse and shit. I try not to do that, but I'm just tired. I really really don't care. I don't know why people want to be petty or get angry at petty shit. I just don't. I don't get it. Yeah, you too, Miriam. Well, all right, y'all. I'm gonna go to bed. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed.